Hello and welcome to our webinar on our strategies for regaining our core health today. Now, this is part 2 in our 2-part series, so make sure that you have seen part 1 because we're going to build on the information in part 1. You can find it at whyarewegettingsick.com. It's a 10-minute video. If you haven't already seen it, definitely make sure you stop right now and go back to whyarewegettingsick.com. Watch the video, and then you can return here to our webinar at corehealth.today. So with that, let's go ahead and bring back Chairman of the Health Advisory Board and Natural Health Journalist, Mr. Blake Graham.
It's a pleasure to be on with you and with everybody here in the Wakaya family. I am so excited about the results we're getting with Wakaya. And one of the reasons is because I believe that we have a calling here, that we can do something that you're not going to find any other company on the planet that's doing it. And it's a need that's growing. It seems like all sorts of diseases, almost every disease seems like it's on the rise. And in fact, if you look at some of the statistics, the ones that really concern me, and I know if you've heard me speak before, I get very passionate about this, but the biggest alarming rate or increase of diseases happened from the 1990s to today. And the 1990s, we can't blame a lot on the food choices between the two because we had very similar food choices. From 96 to 2009, a 45% increase in asthma. During a very similar time frame to 96 to 2018, 3 times more people need fertility treatments. In Japan, it's 1 out of 6. My wife and I were one of those couples that for 5 years, we didn't have any children. We did a year of fertility treatments, didn't get any answers, didn't have any kids, and had to delve into nutrition. And now we've been blessed with 3 because of doing what the body needs, right? 250% increase in children with epilepsy from 1990 to 2015. 250% increase in epilepsy. Doesn't that alarm you? Doesn't that make you upset? Why is it that epilepsy is suddenly on the rise, especially when science progresses? We should know more about it. Why? And how is that even acceptable? And why aren't we shouting in the streets about this? Because there's a problem here, and we can't survive to continue to increase the diseases. So what's happened, right? What's happened? Why are kids getting sicker than ever before? Well, food choices are very similar. We had fast food then, we have fast food now. We had junk food then, we have junk food now. We had Pop-Tarts then, we have Pop-Tarts now. But the first time ever, we're having children that are born to mothers who grew up on pesticides. That's what you're seeing. Mothers who, their mothers had it when they were in the womb. And then they grow up on it, and then they have their own children. And digestion is just so bad that we're missing so many things that we're developing all these problems. GMOs and chemicals have been added to food. If you've heard of genetically modified food, it came out in the early 1990s. We didn't have it in the 1980s. And with it, an increase of the herbicides, the pesticides, up to 2,000%, a 20-fold increase, folks. There's right now, according to the EPA, 36 different neurotoxins that are registered for use in U.S. agriculture. It's a neurotoxin, it's toxic, it's a poison, but we're going to put it in our food. And this is directly a quote from their handbook. All can potentially cause acute and subacute toxicity. All of them are going to be poisoned either directly short-term or long-term. And in fact, we're going to look at some of the damage that some of them can do in just minutes, in just a minute. But toxins and celiac disease. I mean, think back when we were kids, or if you're in your 20s, maybe it's when your parents were kids, right? Ask them, did they ever have somebody in their class, 2, 3 students, that just couldn't eat the bread? That they always had to bring a lunch, even if they're having school lunch, because they can't have any gluten. Did we have gluten intolerance? Did we worry about that? No. The celiac disease, yeah, it existed before, but it was so rare that most of us never even heard about it. But once we started putting these toxins on our wheat, then the rate of people that can't eat that wheat went up. Celiacs went through the roof. And you can take some of these people and have them go to another country, go to Europe, where they don't use these chemicals, and they can eat the wheat, the pasta, the pizza, the bread, and not have the problems, folks. There's a huge difference already in what we're seeing. And it doesn't just stop with celiac disease. Autism. Why is it that we have this growth in autism? Well, they actually did some research, and they found that it parallels with a 99% parallel, if you would, that's called the Pearson correlation coefficient, but a 99% correlation between how much pesticides, herbicides, these chemicals we're putting on our corn and soy. So I could be gluten-free and still eat corn or soy and pick this up. And you see what happens to autism. And if it's autism in children, guess what we call it in adults? Dementia, right? And deaths from dementia, you see that increase. We've already talked about the numbers. They're horrible. They're tragic. And unfortunately, we've got to do something about it because it's not getting any better. And the diabetes. I mean, yes, we know about the ketogenic diet. And yes, when people got scared away from fat and started to use the food pyramid with all of the carbs that we said, oh, you eat all these grains. Yes, diabetes started to rise, but it rose more starting in the mid-1990s when we added, and you can see exactly what we added. We added GMO and we added more of those pesticides. And it's amazing what it's done to society. So this is why we have Wakaya Perfection. This is why Mr. Gilmore, after the success of Fiji Water, and everybody knows about the success of Fiji Water, after that, when he was asked to speak at the American Express conference about what's the world's greatest luxury, and everybody else is talking about time freedom, and we appreciate time freedom. We love and embrace time freedom. We'd like everybody to be able to have time freedom and financial freedom. But it's more than that, because he said, what good is having financial freedom, time freedom, if you're stuck in a hospital bed? Is that really free? Your own health is your own greatest luxury in life. And that's what he says, we've got to do something. And what did he do? He reached out and he went through the medical journals. In Western medicine or in Eastern medicine, Ayurvedic medicine, something that come up again and again and again is ginger. And he started with ginger, added the turmeric to it, because grown side by side, the bugs that eat the ginger don't eat the turmeric. The bugs that eat the turmeric don't eat the ginger. And putting them side by side, protect him, and he didn't have to worry about pesticides. He could keep everything chemical free. And it not only that, it was stronger than ever before. And we have added to that, to the GT core. Now, G stands for ginger and T is for turmeric. But to me, it goes a little bit deeper. G is Mr. Gilmore, and T is our co-founder, because he added a few things to it to make everything better. He brought in this amazing calcium bentonite clay. Todd, the Gilmore and Todd story. Or, if you want to, get the core, GT core, right? Get the core. Because when we put it together, you give the body what it needs. It's going to do some amazing things, and that's what we want, because we need amazing results, don't we? Now, the core package here is the fusion and the essentials, and it's designed for 4 things. They call it the core 4. It helps to reduce inflammation. It helps to detox the body, and not just one detox, like full spectrum detox. In fact, inflammation is more than one mechanism as well. We want to help the body repair digestion and then give you complete essential nutrition. That's the core 4. So to start with it, I want to look at what is a big upgrade. And when I say it's a big upgrade, it's an upgrade on a couple of levels. One, we all know about ginger and turmeric. Many of us are taking the multi-essentials too. That was the core package. But not only have they redone the multi-essentials in an effort to put more minerals in it, to add some of the superfoods to try to make it more effective, but when they redid that, it increased how convenient it is. I mean, to be able to get it in a little pack. You can see my empty package here, because I always just open it up, and if you see there's a little black line on it, go across from that black line and pull it, and that's where the little cut in it, the tear in it, that it opens up. But you open it up, and it's got 8 capsules in it. So what we used to give you maybe 6 a day, you're now getting extra. And they lowered the price. So it's more convenient. There's more in it. They lowered the price. These are incredible products. So it's the ginger you love, the turmeric you love, the multi-essentials that you love with more, and then we're adding the CFA red. And you're going to be real appreciative of the red, especially when it comes to the results, because this is one of the things that makes us unique. Okay, so folks, how it works is this. You take, open up that fusion package, and inside you have the Daily Detox and the Sport Go that we already know and love. And you can put them together. Now, in Japan, I actually will open both canisters and mix them together, so they're already pre-mixed. So I can just take 1 scoop out, and it's got both of them in there. And sometimes I know we'll use 2 scoops or 3 scoops because it's so good and we feel so good on it. When I need a pick-me-up, this is a fantastic pick-me-up. But it's also in that product, we get that ashwagandha, we get the rhodiola, we get some of those great things like the dandelion root. We get these herbs that help to detox the body, and we get extra minerals in there. And the minerals are really so important because they activate all of the enzymes in our body. All of our enzymes need minerals. But going back to what we were talking about here with the addition of the new EFA, right? I just want you to understand some of the power, because again, with not a price increase, but a decrease and an increase in convenience, right there, it's worth every penny. But we've added some things that are going to be such a make that core thing that we do, that's the foundation of whatever we do, even more powerful, because it helps us to do something that needs to be done, and that is to fix the damage. It helps us fix the damage. Now, a lot of people say, oh, if there's so many toxins in society, we just have to eat organic. And there's nothing wrong with eating organic, but understand, eating organic is a good strategy, but it's not a complete strategy. That's like saying I've got a flat tire and my strategy is not to run over any more nails. Well, fantastic. Good for you. I love that strategy. Can you do that every day? Can you go every day and eat all organic? Is there any time you have food that's not organic? And when was the last time? Was it last year or was it last night? For some people, it's, almost every meal, there's something in it. Now, I'm excited about some of the products that we've released and some that we are releasing here coming up next month with when we've combined forces with another great company, that we can get more organic food for great convenience, and it mixes so incredibly well with our keto fuel. So you'll be excited for that in the future. But even right now, even before that, you say, hey, I know there's some toxins. I'm doing my best to avoid them. But what about fixing the damage that's already been taking place, or the damage that comes from the food I eat today? What can we do about that? And this comes to our strategy, the core four, the toxins and the inflammation, the detox. We've got to pull the nails out. We've got to get rid of them. We've got to patch the hole, repair the damage. We've got to fill it up with air, which is our essential nutrients. And pulling the nails out, the toxins and inflammation, okay, you got to get those out. And you don't want to do it harshly. You want to do it gently and working with the body. And that's why I love the calcium bentonite clay that our co-founder, Todd Smith, brought onto Wakaya Perfection. But it goes beyond that, because inflammation. Has anybody ever heard of inflammation? Right? Think of inflammation as like congestion. All the cars are crowded on the freeway, and with too many on there, you can't get off and you can't get on, right? You're stuck. And as a result, from the body standpoint, you're not getting the toxins out and you're not getting the nutrients in like you need to. And here's a law, if you would. This is a law of how the body works. Nutrition times blood flow equals healing. You have great nutrients and not go anywhere and you won't heal. I mean, that's like having the cupboards, having your cupboards full of the product. You're not going to get healthier because it's in the cupboards. You got the nutrition, it's not getting where it needs to go. But what if you've got great circulation and no nutrition there, right? Well, it's the same thing. So we want to be able to increase both nutrition and circulation. We've got to get better blood flow. And that's why we've got to clear out the congestion. We've got to clear out the inflammation. In fact, Harvard Medical School came out and said research is showing that chronic inflammation may be the common factor in many diseases. It's either caused by inflammation or it causes inflammation, or both. And more recently, Johns Hopkins Medical School came out and talked about it specifically with Alzheimer's and arthritis and lupus, cancer, depression, stroke, heart disease, and diabetes. Are there any of those that we want for ourselves or our loved ones? The answer is no. We don't want any of them. And it doesn't even mention all of them. It doesn't mention fibromyalgia. It doesn't mention MS. It doesn't mention infertility. But those are also can be dramatically impacted by inflammation. So what are we going to do for inflammation? Well, we know that calcium bentonite is amazing for detoxing. What you probably didn't know is it's also really good at waking up the cells to heal that damage if you take enough. If you take just a really small amount, it's not going to be enough. But that's why I, in addition to loving the results with the daily detox, I love to add the Kale. And extra Kale, extra clay going in there and pulling those toxins out. Well, folks, we get better results because the cells will actually wake up. And I'll talk a little bit more about that later. But the other one, the high-impact ginger and turmeric, not just ginger and turmeric. People say, oh, I love ginger and turmeric. Well, what are you using, the regular kind or the high-impact kind? Because there is a kind out there that makes a bigger difference. And it helps with circulation and immune support. And it's 5 times stronger in the curcumins and 3 times stronger than gingerols. And those are only some of the healing nutrients in there. 8,300 articles, more than 8,300 articles right now on ginger and turmeric in the medical literature. And this is just going to go up and up and up. But it's more than just detoxing the colon and detoxing the liver and helping with inflammation there. It's all of the things that we already know and love, like hawthornberry and selenium methionine, which we've added extra the EFA red, rhodiola, milk thistle, dandelion root. It's the astaxanthin. See, here's what I believe. I believe that science is yet to catch up with God, that there are things in Mother Nature that we are still learning about that are so absolutely amazing and the effect they bring. And the astaxanthin is one example of that. In Mother Nature, whenever you're getting fish oil, right? Fish oil, you think of salmon, comes from a fish. And guess what else is in salmon that makes it red? Now, no, not farm salmon. They might just throw in food coloring, but fish that's in the ocean that's eating the brine shrimp, and the brine shrimp are eating the algae that's red. And why is the algae red? Because plants, when they get stressed, they can't run away. They can't say, it's hot, I'm going to go find the shade, right? They don't say, oh, there's an invader coming, let's go into our cave and close the door. No. The only things plants can do is produce something on the inside to help fight it and to reduce the stress from changes in extreme temperature, from a lack of food, whatever. Algae creates this incredible antioxidant called astaxanthin. And astaxanthin is packaged with essential fatty acids. And yet when we see EFA products on the market, we see them yellow. What is the yellow? They've taken the essential fatty acid, the EFA, the fish oil, and they leave the astaxanthin behind. Well, there's a reason why it's packaged together. It's actually stronger, like more than 5,000 times stronger than vitamin C. In fact, natural astaxanthin is even 55 stronger than synthetic. So there are other astaxanthin products on the market, but you want the stuff that works. And we actually have 10 times what I'm seeing in any other company. When we first looked at this and started the development 3 years ago, there wasn't a product like it on the market. And now, even looking at what's out there, there's still nothing like it, because it adds so much more. And some of that's going to tie into where we go to with the next step, and that's repairing the damage. You want to repair the damage? Well, obviously, if you want to repair the villi, the number one thing that we see is the ginger that's in the medical literature. And we're seeing that there's even some damage now that goes beyond just the villi, even between the cells. You see, the cells are like stuck together, and they call it a tight junction. Think of it, it's like bricks on a fence. And when we're exposed to this glyphosate, the picture from the left to the right is 16 minutes of exposure. It's not 16 years, it's not 16 months, it's not even 16 days, it's 16 minutes. It's that 1 meal you had that had the glyphosate in it. You know, the wheat, whether it's on the gluten, or it was on the corn, or it was on any number of other vegetables, because they spray it on so much. And you're getting a breakdown in 16 minutes. Well, what do we do to fix that? Well, repairing damage is called redox. Another way to say it is repairing oxidation. It's repairing the damage. And selenium methionine, we've always talked about, it's great because it activates the glutathione. We actually put it with extra selenium inside the EFA red. And we've added that astaxanthin, which is amazing at keeping the EFA good. We not only take a high quality EFA that's actually made in an oxygen-free, you know, we extracted an oxygen-free environment so it can oxidize, but we add the astaxanthin back in. And that astaxanthin is deep red, and that's why it's called EFA red. And we've added to it hyaluronic acid. Now, some of you are familiar with our toluene, know about the benefit of hyaluronic acid with the skin. You put it on your skin feels great. What you probably weren't aware of is the recent research where they're saying, you know what? Instead of putting it on the skin, you could swallow it and it still helps with the skin. Well, how does it do that? Especially if you think, if I'm putting it on the skin, I get it all right here. But if I swallow that same amount, it breaks down in the body, goes all over the place. I only get a small percentage right here. How is that going to help with the skin? And the reason, the mechanism, is what you see on the left side. If you can reverse the damage to the villi, you're going to get so much better skin. If we can repair the digestive tract. You know, the good Lord designed the body to give us warning signs on the outside of things breaking down on the inside. And one of the signs of bad digestion is poor skin quality. If we can improve skin quality by improving digestion, not just fixing it topically, fixing it on the inside, then there are amazing things that happen. And there's one other thing, and this one's actually grown on the island of Wakaya. And I learned about this one recently, and we've already incorporated it into the product, and that's the Dila oil. We love the Dila oil with the Dila cream, right? But did you know on the island of Fiji, they actually use Dila to help with ulcers? They use Dila to help with ulcers, to help repair the lining of the stomach. And we've added that to the EFA red. It even has a little bit of coconut grown on the island of Wakaya as a carrier, you know, to help all these nutrients get where they need to go. But all of these together give us better repair ability. And I was on the product, taking 2 a day for probably 4 days right before the Bull Bash. I came in on Monday. I guess it was only 3 days because I came in on Monday, and it was there. And I actually got my very first bag from Mr. Mike Casperson, and I started taking it. And by the time we're down there, I'm going to just say it this way: the lighting on all my webinars looks a lot better, right? I got better lighting because I'm using some of the dealer oil, and maybe we can't blame the light, but I was wondering, is my eyesight just improving because I'm putting the Ruru cream on? What's happening there? And the eyes oxidize too. And Dr. Pugh, who's helped people reverse blindness, talks about the value of redox and helping with your eyesight too. Is it just my eyes where everything looks better? Or are we actually helping the skin to repair? Are we actually getting younger on the inside? And that's what we're after, folks. And that's why I love this. Now, filling it up with essential nutrients. This is something that's been near and dear to my heart. One of my mentors was big on essential nutrients. And it was like that. When I first heard about it, it was like the scales fell from my eyes, because I had heard that nutrition was preventative medicine, that you take it now, you don't feel the difference. You wait 20 or 30 years, and you're not as sick as maybe you would have been if you had an identical twin and they ate the same food and one of you took nutrition, the other one didn't. But when I heard about essential nutrients, I realized the body can repair. I realized that you don't have to be sick, that if you give the body what it needs, it'll do amazing things. And among the essential nutrients, there are vitamins, minerals, amino acids. There are also essential fatty acids. And we used to hope that we were getting it from our diet because we didn't have an essential fatty acid product. And our co-founder, Todd Smith, did not want to run of the mill one. He says, if we're going to do it, we're going to do the best. And it's been 3 years in production, and we now have launched the essential fatty acids. And it's not just the essential fatty acid. It's the astaxanthin, it's the hyaluronic acid, it's the dealer oil, it's the selenium to it. I mean, there's so much in that, in just little, and they're not big pills. They're little tiny capsules, and there's so much in there. Now, one of the things you'll find, if you've ever heard of fat-soluble nutrients, right? Fat-soluble nutrients. When you take this, your B vitamins go to work. And one of the B vitamins is niacin. I don't know if you've ever heard of a niacin flush, but some people get it when you have a lot of niacin that suddenly go into work. It's like this instant detox. You can feel hot. Some people have a little bit of a rash. And if you take it on an empty stomach, we've had a few people that do that. But for most people, if you just take this and make sure you take your package with the mill, and we have great results with it. Now, I will take it on an empty stomach. I don't have a problem. I can take 3 a day. I don't have a problem. You're using the Burn, which has some niacin in it. Some people are a little more sensitive, and there are a few. Maybe I'm going to say only 5%, 1 out of 20, but it happens enough that I want you to be aware of it, that it's not saying the product doesn't work for me. All it is it's saying, hey, I went through a quick detox. Some people love that because they're like, man, if I've got toxins in there, get them out. I want to get rid of them as quickly as I can. But if it's uncomfortable, just take it with food, or if you have to, cut back and take only one of the multi-essentials and save the other one for the other time. But these are so important because, I mean, think of things essential on a car. You've got the engine, you got the brakes, you got the tires, transmission, check, everything's ready. Oh, steering wheels didn't arrive. That's okay, Toyota or Ford, they're gonna just release it from the factory. We'll pick it up on the next round. They never do that. We would never try to drive a car without a steering wheel. We wouldn't do that. But unfortunately for our bodies, it happens all the time. We go to bed and our body goes to repair mode and we don't have the essential nutrients we need, and it's going to make a defect. There's going to be something going wrong. We're not going to be like we're supposed to be by divine design. If you've ever seen people, whether it's, you see people in their joints start to curl over because, it can't rebuild bones, so it puts a protein in there, you get inflammation. Or folks, sometimes, you get a leg cramp. You ever get a leg cramp? It's not when you're sitting down for breakfast. It's the middle of the night when your body's trying to repair the bones and doesn't have the nutrition. It says, well, you're not using the muscles. Let's pull it out of there. And you get the leg cramp. We need these essential fatty acids. We have too many people with dry skin. We have too many people with dry brains. Dry brains, that's that thing. The thing, when you have a word and you know what the word is and you can't get to it. Or you look your kid, you look them right in the eye and you call them by the wrong name. Folks, there's too many people with that. We need to help reverse it. We need to help the lungs be stronger and the heart be stronger and all these things that use essential fatty acids. We need to help you and your family get the best results, and that's why the core, doing an upgrade on the core and making it for even a better price is so important to Wakaya. And I get so excited for that. Now, if you want better results, you can add on the clay. I love the Kale. You can add on the ketogenic diet, an incredible diet because you feed the brain. You can add on the joint support if you want to support your joints, right? And the mineral garden, if you want more minerals, if you're fighting cravings or you want more antioxidants. I mean, there's great things to add on, but the core of what we do is that GT core. Whether it's ginger, turmeric, Gilmore and Todd, or just get the core, that GT core is going to be a big deal. Already we're seeing people that are having better results. I'm having better results. I love it. And I'm excited to take it back to Japan. There's so much that we do, but we want to help people get the best results. And the last thing I want to say is when you do this, if you want to save more money, and I think money's valuable because it lets you do things, right? One, help yourself make more money by sharing a message, helping to share the core. And you can, I actually have a 10-minute webinar that talks about the principles. Why are we getting sick.com? And you can see an 11-minute video that goes over some of these alarming statistics, the sound the alarm, and what we can do about it. And then they reach out to you for more support. Why are we getting sick.com? And then they can go to our webinar, which we just did to cover this. It's called corehealth.today, corehealth.today. And you can see the webinar where people can get the information, and when they're educated, they decide. But if you can help them not only get educated, but when they're ready to try it, save money, and get on our free product program. Our free product program, it's called Banaka Rewards, but you get on the auto ship, and every month you're on the auto ship, you get free product credits. And you can save them up for up to 3 months and get free products with them, right? And you do it for 6 months and they double it. So there's just great reasons why. Help people be healthy now. So again, for all the people that have ever had that thing where you get your phone out and you say, I was going to call somebody, you know, I was supposed to say something to this person. I'm in the middle of a conversation. What is it? I go into a room to get something. When I get there, I can't remember what it was. For all those that want better brain support, better hormonal support, better skin support, better digestion support, the upgraded GT core is a big deal. When the EFA Red become available, I'll probably even throw on some extra ones. But for right now, I'm one that I like to use 2 of these a day, not just one, 2 of them a day. Give the body what it needs. It'll do amazing things. Folks, I want to thank you for all you do to help you and your family be better, because that's where it starts. And invite you to help us share this message with the world, because there's too many people out there that are sick. And that's why, looking at the trends, you know, our president, Bill Andreoli, sound the alarm. This should be something we're shouting from the rooftops. There's too many people sick. And fortunately, we're in a position that we can do something about it. So is it okay that we have these growing rates of diseases? Do we want them to keep growing? Do we want the next generation of kids to be sicker than the last generation? Or is it time for a change? Is it time to sound the alarm? Thank you so much for all that you do.